Can you pass me on the chanting books, please? Thank you. Welcome. Have you been to any of these discussions before? The Monday?
It's been quite a while.
Okay. Welcome. So I knew you were coming, so I made extra copies. Yes. We will do the 5 precepts. Yeah, 1 more minute. And the 5 precepts are here and on page 3 of this other book that you have, not in that printed document, but this. Yeah. And you are still monitoring the YouTube.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's start. Homage to Him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to Him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to Him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dhamma, I take refuge in the Sangha. For the second time, I take refuge in the Buddha. For the second time, I take refuge in the Dhamma. For the second time, I take refuge in the Sangha. For the third time, I take refuge in the Buddha. For the third time, I take refuge in the Dhamma. For the third time, I take refuge in the Sangha. I undertake the precept to abstain from harming living beings. I undertake the precept to abstain from taking what is not given. I undertake the precept to abstain from sexual misconduct. I undertake the precept to abstain from false speech. I undertake the precept to abstain from intoxicating drinks and drugs that lead to heedlessness. So let's do about a couple of minutes of meditation. I invite you to close your eyes and be quiet. Collect your thoughts. Resting your palms, keeping your back straight, breathing in and breathing out continuously, mindfully, and relaxing this body and the mind. So we will start from section 27 of the advice to Sigālaka. And I believe we can finish this sutra today. And for the next one, we hope to start with a new sutra upon a request by a friend living in Winnipeg. We will see how it goes. We will do the Girimananda Sutra. This is very popular in Sri Lanka as a sutra that is chanted when someone is not well. When someone is sick, monks are advised to go and chant that sutra. We did it yesterday here for a congregation member. And it's fairly long sutra, but there are shorter versions. We can avoid the repetitions and do that. So we will do that starting from next time or next time. Sometimes we cannot finish the entire sutra in one discussion, so we continue it in the next session. So like that, we did this one 2 times before, and we came this far, and we are starting from 27 today. For those of you who were not here last 2 sessions, this is the Buddha giving advice to a young man whose father died not long ago. And the Buddha intentionally made plans to go by where this man was submerged in water and worshipping 6 directions. And he was just doing that early in the morning and not knowing the real meaning of what his father asked him to do at the deathbed. That is the request of his father to just early in the morning go into, I think, the river Ganges and go as far as this level of water in that river and start worshipping the 6 directions. So he would just go down the water and then come up and worship this direction and go back down again, worship that direction, worship this direction, putting his palms together like this. He did that because his father asked him to do. But I think later on, as we were doing this discussion, we felt like this was his father's intention, that his father knew that the Buddha would walk by this street for alms round and will catch this person. But the tradition also says that the Buddha, as it is the habit of the Buddha to scan the city and find someone who is worthy of receiving his help that day. So this man happened to be the person who received the help of the Buddha on this day. So this is, again, I think I sent in the email a couple of times that some monks like Bhikkhu Bodhi says that these are the teachings that convinced him of the wisdom of the Buddha, not those profound teachings on dependent origination and those difficult ones sometimes we did in the beginning of these discussions. So we are able to relate this advice, these little pieces that the Buddha has taught to this young man, to our lives, to think deeply about how it connects with our own life and our relationship network. So in the beginning we find the Buddha is telling this young man to be careful about friends he associates. This is like a father giving advice to a young son. Parents are always worried when they have young children, not knowing which friends they associate and what direction they will go, whether they get addicted to drugs or start smoking or drink alcohol, have accidents, and all these are worries that a normal father has. Because the father is no more for this young man, I think the Buddha decided to remind him of how he should live. And also this man had a wrong view that, or the view that if he goes to visit the Buddha or any recluse at the time, he will be guided to give alms and donations and will lose his wealth. That's a view he had in his mind, so he did not want to go to see the Buddha. Because the Buddha speaks about generosity and cutting off your greed. So this, as a, I think, fairly wealthy person, I assume, he had a lot of wealth and he just wanted to protect that wealth, didn't want to lose it for any charity purpose. But somehow, I think we don't know what happened, whether he was convinced about, well, we will find out what the end of the sutra says. Somehow the Buddha, usually when he gives talks like this to people, he refuses receiving alms. He goes on just like he does in other days on his regular alms round, and whether it's a poor house or a rich house he happened to see, when he goes in that area, he goes in and stands there. If people offer something, he would accept it, and if it's enough for him, he would just sit under a tree and eat that food. He doesn't care whether it's a rich person's meal or a poor person's meal. That is how ascetics lived at that time. So with this, well, of course, this young man didn't prepare any meal at this moment as he was doing this ritual. So maybe the Buddha advised him and went on his alms round. If we can go to the very end. So number 35, at the end it says, when all was said, the young householder Sigālaka exclaimed to the Buddha, "Wonderful, dear sir, wonderful. It is as though you have set upright what was overturned." So something is overturned. A cup like this is overturned, but now you opened it, so we can see what is in there. Or uncovered what was concealed. Something was hidden and now you have shown me something. Or shown the path to one gone astray. So I was not sure where I was going, so now you are showing me the path. Or brought an oil lamp into the darkness, such that those with eye could see. So there is a dark room and nobody can see what is in there. So this man says, it's as if you brought an oil lamp so we can see what is in the room. So too has the Buddha made clear the teachings, Dhamma, by various ways. I go for refuge to the Buddha and to the Dhamma and to the monastic community. May the Exalted One accept me as a lay follower, gone for refuge from henceforth for as long as I live. So he commits seriously to become a Buddhist person, or just to become a follower. He's interested in what the Buddha is saying, that's what it means. Because Buddhist is a term we use now, but what it really means is that someone who is aspiring to be awakened, to understand these teachings. Because Buddha means the awakened one, and that's the word that is rooted on this word. The word Buddha is rooted in. So whoever says that I am a Buddhist, which means they have some strong willingness to practice and end suffering within themselves, their own suffering. So this man wanted to do that. We don't find any place where he says that he offered any food, but when he commits, he must have also offered alms to the Buddha when he had an opportunity for that. Now, this is also a stock phrase that we find this number 35 in about more than 100 or maybe more than that sutras. So when people are so happy, when something is clear to them after the Buddha's explanation, they would say something like this, because they are happy, and they say, oh, I was not sure where I was going, now you have shown me the path. That they have confidence on what the Buddha says. So if I say something clearly, you can say this to me. Or if you say something clearly, I will say this to you. Something to awaken us. So let's go back to number 27. We did this little piece, but let's start from there. And how, young man, does the noble disciple protect the 6 directions? So, noble disciple is Arya Savaka, the disciple of a noble person like the Buddha, a disciple of noble monks, or disciple who practices noble teachings, teachings that help you to surpass the mundane world and to achieve supramundane states. That's why you are a noble disciple. Protect the 6 directions. So, protecting here means just imagine a person who received all these advice about how to be a good person, not to do gambling, and not to be a bad friend, or not to welcome bad friends into your life. Now you are ready to receive some awakening teachings, to say something like, you are wrong, whatever you have been doing is not right. So at this point the Buddha could say that, because this man is interested in what the Buddha is going to say. And he knows that the Buddha is also wishing welfare for this man, wishing the best for this man. Also, if you go in any direction in your life, you think of your parents, sometimes you think of your children, another time you think of your wife, another time. So these 6 directions means wherever you go, these people are with you, and you live for them, and there are certain ways that you can understand and think what ways they need compassion from you, right? What ways they give compassion to you, what ways you should protect them, what are my responsibilities, am I a good husband, am I a good wife, am I treating my servants well, so have I forgotten something in my life about maybe calling them, making sure they are doing well. So this, think of your own relationship network as we read this, and how you think about them in your life. So protecting means thinking about them and making sure you know what you should do to them. These 6 directions should be known. Mother and father as the east. East means Puratima Disa. So you think about mother and father when you go in that direction. So just when you worship that direction, when you daily really regard your parents as important piece in your life. Some people tend to forget their parents because of the difficulties they have. Some parents feel sad when children just send a card for Christmas, not show up in their house and share a meal. And in Sri Lanka, sending your parents to an assisted living center or care home or elderly house is usually a bad thing, because children have to be able to pay for such places when you send them to those places, which means children are wealthy and they can really house their parents in the house and take care of them. But here, I think the understanding is different. That you are afraid that parents will fall and you want to provide better care for your parents. But again, if you can really be with them most of the time in that assisted living facility and make sure they are happy there, that they spend enough time with you, that's really a nice thing. So for now, these teachings that way apply to any time of the Buddha, time here and now. And then there's another part, your teachers as the South. Teachers are important. So this young man had teachers. He was perhaps going to school or he just finished school. So he should not forget his teachers. That's why sometimes you still remember your high school teachers and you go visit them and give a gift or send a card, not just send a message in Facebook, but really do something about that relationship, precious relationship you have. And spouse and family as the West. This is very important. People care more about work, less about family. Then there's an imbalance. So thinking about them is important. We will get to this in detail. Friends and colleagues as the North. So your friends, you have very good, everyone has friends. And your colleagues, people that you really deal with for work. And again, workers and servants as the lower direction. Maybe this man had servants and people who worked in his house. And they are also important. If you are treating them as lower people, and if you put them into a caste or some lower position than yours, this is not something you should do, because the Buddha, although he came from a royal family, that he was born to a king, regional king, so in India his caste was a super good class, a very good caste, but he welcomed people from any caste, any lower caste, to enter to his and become ordained and practice as monks. When they became monks, no one can tell whether they came from that class or this class, because they are all students of the Buddha or sons of the Buddha. That's Buddha Putra. Buddha Putra means sons of the Buddha. So, and even kings would come and show respect to these people, these monks. That's how the Buddha became this, what's the word, reformist in his time. He used all his powers and education to really care for these people. So servants are usually from those lower castes, and they should also be respected. And another direction is ascetics and Brahmins as the upper direction, because they have higher purpose, and people should also have connections with ascetics and Brahmins, means monks and religious, those who have committed themselves to religious life, priests or teachers of your faith should also be respected. This is not what this man thought of when he worshipped the six directions. He didn't have any of this in his mind. He just did what his father told him to do. Okay, number 28. In 5 ways should a mother and father as the eastern direction be respected by a child. Think about your parents now. I will support them who supported me. So that's one thing, like you feed them. It's not a burden for you to give food to them and take care of them when they are weak, and do things for them, clean them and make sure they are comfortable until they die. And next, I will do my duty to them. If there is anything they ask you to do as parents, you will do it. You will fulfill their wishes. So what is this? Maybe they ask you to work, not be lazy and kill your time at home. Then you respect their wish and you find work. They ask you to study hard, then you do that. They ask you to come visit them, you do that. But there are limitations to this. Sometimes they ask this overly because they have too much attachment to you. Then you have to really find the middle path, that you visit them when you can, and other times you explain that there is a difficulty, but I will make sure I come on a certain time, certain day. So that way you at least show respect to them, not hurt their feelings. Again, I will maintain the family lineage and tradition. So sometimes parents, I remember in Colombo, I went to this funeral. I was in Kandy, so I took a bus and went to the funeral. And so this mother died, and her wish was that children should not allow any bad people into the family. This was her request. As long as they live, they should not allow bad people to their family, which means, for example, maybe a child from the family, a son from the family getting married. So that should be from a family that is righteous, that has good background, and not those who do drugs, or because that family influences this. It can shake the family system of this family. So there was the body of the mother, and they made a circle and held hands, offered flowers to her, and knelt down and bowed to the mother 3 times in front of me and said, "We promise to keep your request, and we will keep it." And they said, "We know you are watching us from heaven." That's what they strongly believed, because she was such a good mother. And we promise to not let any bad person to enter our family, and forgive us for any wrongdoing. And we will continue to do the good things you have been doing, and don't worry about us. So that's something they did, and I never forget that experience. They're still, good. They talk to me every now and then, and I feel happy to introduce other people to them, because they still live that way and continue doing their services. Really good people. So mom should be happy wherever she is, right? So that is also keeping family tradition. And then I will be worthy of my inheritance. That in order to receive inheritance from parents, you have to live in such a way that you respect the parents' wishes. But again, sometimes some parents are so strict that they want to control which one you marry and which one is right for you, and then there is conflict. So this doesn't often go so well. But again, I think we can always be patient and not hurt their feelings. Um, like things like saying, I will never be your child, I will never come see you. These are like tattoos in a heart. They stay. That's not nice to say such things. Whether or not you receive inheritance from your family. And I will make donations on behalf of dead ancestors. Which means when parents are gone, you continue to think of them and do good. Making offerings at a church, making offerings to birds, homeless people, and taking care of some other parents of your friends' parents, and think that mom and dad, I'm doing this for you. That kind of a connection. Not an attachment, because that's not something we encourage. Just to show them that you care and you haven't abandoned them, you haven't let go of them in your life. That they also need, according to Buddhist belief, they need happiness and joy. If they are in such places where they live based on good karma they did, good deeds they did, then you send good energy and they are able to receive that energy from such places. So that's a belief that Buddhists usually have. That's why when some parents die or when someone dies in their family, they come to the temple and make an offering to the Buddha and all the monks in the past, the present and future, and say that I did this for you, mom and dad, please be happy wherever you are. That kind of a thing. Okay? And the mother and father, who's so respected, reciprocate with compassion in 5 ways. By restraining you from wrongdoing, guiding you towards good actions, training you in a profession, supporting the choice of a suitable spouse, and in due time handing over the inheritance. So, restraining you from wrongdoing. Parents do this, tell you not to go into the town after 7 p.m. because it's a dangerous place that you may not know what will happen to you. Guiding you towards good actions, tell them not to say bad words, respect elders, show respect to them. Training you in a profession, that they give you good education and send you to good schools. Parents always think about these things. And supporting the choice of a suitable spouse. Now the English translation goes that way. The Pali says that something like finding a wife for him when it's the right time, because that's what that's what still happens in some places of India. Parents decide who their son is going to marry. So that's sometimes hard for some sons, or some daughters of those families, because they have some other plans. And in due time, handing over the inheritance. So, if children lived in such a way that they are worthy of inheritance, so parents hand over their inheritance. In this way, the eastern direction is protected and made peaceful and secure. Right? So you don't have to worry about any of this. Sometimes people only realize this when parents have died, that they had all this time or wealth that they didn't do so much to their parents. So to make peace, it's best you do that while they are around and alive and you are able to do so. In other teachings, we find that those who do not take care of parents when they are able, that person is considered an outcast, because someone was treating people who come from lower caste families as outcast people. But the Buddha said, no, that's not how you become an outcast. Not because you were born to such in such family you become an outcast. But if you do not take care of your parents, if you do not do this, do that, then such people should be considered outcasts. So the Buddha is encouraging people to take care of parents. The Buddha himself showed respect to his mom, Prajapati Gautami. She was very old and she was about to pass away as an enlightened nun. She was the first nun in Buddhist tradition. So she came to show respect to the Buddha, to his son, to her son, and said, and it's my time has come, I want to show respect to you. When you were small, I remember making you eat, feeding you with a gold plate. I didn't know you were going to be the Buddha. So I was also eating from your plate when I was feeding you. I wouldn't have done that had I known that you will be the Buddha. So she felt that it was necessary to ask forgiveness from the Buddha. Another time she wanted to offer a robe. She made it herself from scratch. The Buddha refused, and she was crying. So, and the Buddha said, offer it to all the monks, not just me. So this is the Buddha teaching. This was when she was a lay person. This is how the Buddha taught her to let go of the attachment to her son. Because now the Buddha receives this robe, and as it's the nature of the Buddha, he would give it to another monk. And she will feel bad because she wants the Buddha to wear that robe. And I think the Buddha had enough robes. So many people must have offered him robes. So, and also she was a wealthy woman, and the Buddha had a point, like, take care of other monks, and I'm okay. So that's your duty. So do this to not just me, for any other monk. So take care of the Sangha, all the monks. And the Buddha could say things like that. And when she had psychic abilities. She flew into the air, as the story goes, and she went in a certain direction. The Buddha walked toward that direction, didn't turn back, walked backwards. That is, say that he did that because he wanted to show respect to that mother who took care of him when he was small. Because the Buddha also lost his mom when he was just 7 days old. We don't know what caused her to go that soon. So this shows that the Buddha, in his childhood, he missed his mom very dearly. So the Buddha always encouraged people to take care of their parents. And he said, if you keep your father on your left shoulder and mother on your right shoulder, and for 100 years you take care of them by making them eat and cleaning them, doing all kinds of duties to them, you can never say that your duty is fulfilled toward them. That's what the Buddha said. So you can never pay the debts to your parents. Think about that. That's a strong statement, right? Say when you were less than 1 year old, everything you did, you couldn't do any of that. Your parents had to teach you how to walk, to cheer you up when you took your first step, to enjoy when you said the first word, right? To really be nice to you, teach you nice words, and feed you and protect you and not let you fall. Like, parents don't sleep when there's a child at home. Every 2 hours you cry and parents wake up and make sure you are okay. So at that time you can, when you think that way, you can never say you have done enough. Who will do that, right, to any other person? Only parents would do that, right? You have to be extraordinary to really put up with you, and that's because they love you. No matter what bad you did, you can go home and your mom will hug you and welcome you and feed you and take care of you. That's parents. So the Buddha has taught a lot about parents because he saw that sometimes people forget to take care of parents. Anyway, let's move on. What's the time? 8:15. Someone's phone is vibrating?
Yeah, mine. Yes.
Are you recording?
No. I just record.
Maybe your mom is calling you. So, 29. In 5 ways should teachers, as the southern direction, be respected by a student. So, a student shows respect by rising for them. So, when you see your teacher, you stand up from your seat. This is something my parents taught me from small days. As soon as, even now in Sri Lanka, I don't know if this happens here, when teacher walks into the classroom, students rise from seats and say, "May you live long," with respect, putting their palms together. And if they don't do it, either they are disabled or disrespectful. That's how people think about, like you show respect to even your parents, friends, because they are adults. They give advice to you. So when they come, you don't just sit in the couch and do your own thing. You give the couch to them and you go and do your own work. Sometimes when parents, friends visit, some families, children don't care about that. They don't talk, they don't show respect. They just stay there like strangers. This is not nice. So now you can see where these teachings came to the Sri Lankan society. It's from these teachings that have been there for over 2500 years that the Sri Lankan culture was shaped. Okay? Regularly attending lessons, you don't really miss classes. Eagerly desiring to learn, because they put so much effort to teach, so you also put same effort to learn. Duly serving them, when there is a chance you take care of them. And receiving instruction, you go for advice from them, to receive advice from them so you do the right thing. And teachers, so respected, reciprocates with compassion in 5 ways. By training in self-discipline, this you understand, ensuring the teachings are well grasped, not just teach for the salary, but make sure you really teach and the student has received your teachings. Instructing in every branch of knowledge, that you are not biased, that you don't keep some knowledge for you and teach the wrong stuff. You teach really the whole thing. Introducing their friends and colleagues, so you introduce, my teachers did that. I'm so grateful to them that I could not afford to go to tuition classes for some classes. My parents could not pay for those. So teachers would call their friends and say, this student is good at school and is at class, he's coming, can you teach him for free in your class? So I make sure I visit such teachers who taught me for a couple of years and never asked me any money for the lessons they taught. So I'm super grateful to such teachers. So I can never forget them in whatever I do now is because of their compassion, their selfless way of understanding the needs of a student. Okay, next. And providing safeguards in every direction, making sure, like in this country, gun violence happens in schools, so some teachers have really sacrificed trying to protect these school kids. So that's what teachers do. They don't think about themselves. You know these stories, so yeah. Number 30. In 5 ways should a wife as the Western direction be respected by a husband: by honoring, not disrespecting, being faithful, sharing authority, means you give her the authority to manage financials at the house, and by giving gifts. It's a thing that husbands nowadays say, I'm a person who doesn't remember birthdays, so that's why I forgot your birthday. Some husbands do that. Because wife may have been thinking about that for months, but not tell him. So somehow this is, these little things like giving gifts is important. And the wife so respected reciprocates with compassion in 5 ways: by being well organized, being kindly disposed to the in-laws and household workers, being faithful, looking after the household goods, and being skillful and diligent in all duties. In this way, the Western direction is protected and made peaceful and secure. So this is something we always talk about family affairs. Sometimes legal system requires when a husband files divorce, he has to pay child support and for the wife. And some wives know this and they don't work, because if they work in a better job, they won't get child support or their husband would leave. So this is a thing that happens because they try to understand the legal system and make use of it in a way that I think suppresses someone's freedom. A lot of discussions about this, like in I hear Venerable Ajahn Baham mentions this, that you put on 3 rings when you get married. The first one is the engagement ring, the second one is the wedding ring, and the third one is suffering. So, but that is optional. There is something about it. He also says in the first year of marriage, husband listens to wife. In the second year of marriage, wife listens to husband. In the third year of marriage, neighbors listen to both of them. So they start arguing. They lose all those promises they made. I remember many of these sayings, telling, because your husband is the one to tell all these secrets because he never listens. Also about wives, it's nice to hold hands of your wife when you both go shopping. It looks romantic, but it's also economical. And listening to your wife is like reading terms and conditions of a product. You don't understand any of it, but you hit agree at the end. people can think that I'm studying how to be married.
The only one I know is why do husbands die about 5 years before their wives, usually, or before their wives? Because they want to.
And the wife saying, "Oh no, the child." I think husband says he finds a newspaper there it says wife talk 5,000 words and husband talks only 2,500 words, and the wife defending her saying, "That's because I had to repeat everything I said to you." If that rings any bells. Anyway, 31, right? In 5 ways should friends and colleagues as the northern direction be respected. By generosity, so you are generous to your friends.
I think we missed the other side, right? How the wife respect the.
We read that. Yeah. Yeah. Kind words, you use kind words with to your friends. Never use these vulgar, bad words like F word. Acting for their welfare. Impartiality, that you don't treat some friends as, in front of others, that you show more respect to some friends and less to others, and it hurts the feelings of your other friends because they don't know what's going on. And being honest to them. When asked, you say, "Yes, this is what happened." And friends and colleagues, so respected, reciprocates with compassion in 5 ways. By protecting you when you are vulnerable, and likewise with your wealth, they protect your wealth. Being a refuge when you are afraid, not abandoning you in misfortune, that if you become bankrupt, they come and help you. Honoring all your descendants, that, descendants include family members and everyone that is connected to you, so you just respect them when they are around. In this way, the northern direction is protected and made peaceful and secure. So, next, in 5 ways should workers and servants as lower direction be respected by an employer. By allocating work according to aptitude, providing wages and food, looking after the sick, sharing special treats, and giving reasonable time off work. Not overly taking their labor. And these are self-explanatory, but very important these days. And workers and servants, so respected, reciprocates with compassion in 5 ways. Being willing to start early and finish late when necessary. Taking only what is given. Doing work well and promoting a good reputation for the workplace. In this way, the lower direction is protected and made peaceful and secure. 33. In 5 ways should ascetics and Brahmins as the upper direction be respected. So these are the spiritual teachers. By kindly actions, speech, and thoughts, having an open door and providing material needs. So making sure they have what they need to live. So this is what you do to, I think, ascetics and Brahmins. And ascetics and Brahmins, so respected, reciprocates with compassion in 6 ways. By restraining you from wrongdoing, like giving you 5 precepts, which tells you what to do and what not to do. guiding you to good actions. Again, 5 precepts. Thinking compassionately, that we are available when you are in trouble, you can come and talk to us. And telling you what you ought to know, and clarifying what you already know, and showing you the path to heaven, path to goodness, path to liberation. The upper direction is protected and made peaceful and secure. So the Buddha is telling this young man that this is what teachers do. So don't worry, don't be afraid that they are good people. Right? That is what the Buddha said. Summing up in words, the sublime teacher said, Mother and father as the east, teachers as the south, spouse and family as the west, friends and colleagues as the north, servants and workers below, Brahmins and ascetics above. These directions a person should honor in order to be truly good. Wise and virtuous, gentle and eloquent, humble and accommodating, such a person attains glory. Energetic, not lazy, not shaken in misfortune, flawless in conduct and intelligent, such a person attains glory. A compassionate maker of friends, approachable, free from stinginess, a leader, a teacher, and diplomat, such a person attains glory. Generosity and kind words, conduct for others' welfare, impartiality in all things, these are suitable everywhere. These kind dispositions hold the world together like the linchpin of a moving chariot, and should these, like it holds together, and should these kind dispositions not exist, then the mother would not receive respect or honor from her child. Neither would the father. Upon these things the wise reflect, they obtain greatness and are sources of praise. 35. When all was said, the young householder Sigālaka exclaimed to the Buddha, so this is a happy statement. Wonderful, dear sir, wonderful. It is as though you have set upright what was overturned, or uncovered what was concealed, or shown the path to one gone astray, or brought an oil lamp into the darkness, such that those with eyes could see. So too has the Buddha made clear the teachings by various ways. I go for refuge to the Buddha and to the Dhamma and to the monastic community. May the Exalted One accept me as a lay follower, gone for refuge from henceforth for as long as I live. So that's the end. We went past 3 minutes, but we can have some question and answer session if you have a question. Yes?
So, is this part of your daily practice to worship in the 6 directions?
No.
Okay. And when you do that, do you have to, is it important to orient yourself towards east or north, or is that just arbitrary?
It's arbitrary. Actually, it's just what you think in your mind.
Okay. But you don't have to know where it is.
No. In which case you need really a compass in front of you. Sometimes it's dark and you cannot even know which direction the sun is rising from.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Anyway, this is I don't think Sigālaka went to the waters again because this is hard practice for him. Every day he has to go to. Some days the river gets flooded and he should not be in water. And rainy days, it's unpredictable. Some rivers in India, flash floods come. He will be in danger. But the Buddha wants him to. The Buddha is giving new interpretation. There's just the yoga people do this, like worshipping directions. But the Buddha is in a way saying it's not necessary. This is optional if you want to do it, but do it. thinking this way in about each direction. But usually when you have good sense, you can tell which direction you are looking at. But that takes little time to really focus on. But nowadays, your cell phone can tell where is north, and then you can tell where the rest is. Any more questions?
I think people in India still may be doing it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but not this sense, but their own way maybe.
Yeah, people just, because this is a thing maybe they have been doing, so they still do it because their past teachers told them to do that. The Buddha is a person who did say in Kādama Sutra that don't do things just because your ancestors told you to do this. Just use your own insight to understand, and if it works, just do it. If not, you don't have to. So, yeah. Good. Alright, so we can go to page 6 of the chanting book to finish off. The avoiding of evil, the doing of good, the purification of the mind, this is the Buddha's teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for coming, and I will send an email about the next discussion. And if you want to receive that email, please give me the emails before we leave.